If you read the national headlines, you think the housing market is about to fall off of a cliff. Well, Zillow is predicting a drop for Louisiana in 2026. But if you're waiting for a crash to buy a home in Lafayette, you are going to be waiting a long time. Today, I'm showing you the real 2026 numbers that the algorithms miss. We'll cover the inventory floor that is preventing prices from dropping, the specific price point where the market is actually softening, and the new Act 480 insurance law that has quietly saved the market from collapsing. Hey y'all, if y'all don't know me, I'm Abshire. I'm your local Lafayette real estate expert. I don't trust national averages. I trust the contracts on my desk. So let's start with the number one reason we aren't crashing: supply. So number one, let's talk about the inventory floor. So you can't have a crash without a flood of inventory. And in 2008, we had thousands of homes sitting unsold. In 2026, we have about 1,200 active listings. That is 14% lower than pre-pandemic levels. So we have more of a lock-in effect. So why is inventory so low? Well, because sellers with 3% interest rates aren't selling. They are locked in. This artificial shortage is putting a floor under home prices. In fact, the average sales price in Lafayette actually rose 2% last month to $297,726. That is not a crash, that is a slow climb. So the facts are those 1,200 active listings that we see is down actually 14% versus 2019 levels. The average sales price is $297,726, which is up 2.4% year over year. So prices only crash when supply is greater than demand, and currently supply is still constricted. So what is a common objection? Well, many say, but Zillow says Lafayette values will drop 6% this year. Well, Zillow's algorithm struggles with our unique market. It sees lower sales and assumes lower prices, but locally, low supply is keeping prices sticky. Don't bet your equity on a robot. Now, number two, let's talk about this soft patch, which is the days on market and negotiation. It's not a crash, but it is a correction. Homes are sitting on the market longer, an average of 76 to even up to 83 days. Now, we have moved from a seller's market frenzy to a more balanced and fair market. So if you are a buyer, this is your power window. You won't get the house for 20% off, but you can get the seller to pay for maybe some closing costs or buy down your interest rate. The price isn't crashing, but the cost to buy is negotiable for the first time in years. So here are the facts. Yes, the average days on market are averaging anywhere from 76 all the way up to 83 days, and that is up from 50 days where it was last year. So a balanced market is what we're seeing. So neither side really has truly full control. And then the concessions that some are offering, well, the sellers are willing to pay closing costs, some rate buy downs instead of having to drop the list price. Now, a common question that I get is, if homes sit for 80 days, does that mean that nobody wants them? No, it just means that buyers are picky. They are skipping the fixer-uppers and they're fighting over the move-in ready homes. The ugly houses are the ones that are skewing those numbers. Now, let's move on to number three, which would be your savior. That is Act 480 insurance. So the real threat to our market wasn't interest rates, it was insurance. Premiums were skyrocketing, killing affordability. But Act 480 has stabilized the ship by allowing buyers to insure the loan balance or your stated value instead of the replacement costs. And we've seen monthly payments drop anywhere from maybe $300 to even $500. And this has kept buyers in the game who otherwise would have quit. Without that Act 480, we might have crashed. With it, we are seeing more stability. So with this Act 480, which allows the stated value policies, which are going to be critical for keeping monthly payments affordable in 2026, the impact that it's going to have is that it's going to prevent a collapse from offsetting the interest rates and also your premiums. And then of course, what we're going to observe is that the market is bending, not breaking, thanks to this policy. Another common question that I get is this Act 480 safe? And what if my house burns down? Well, it carries risk. You only get the loan amount back, not the full value of the house. It's a tool to use to get into the house now, and you can upgrade the policy later when rates income improves. So the market isn't crashing, but it is changing. And if you want to see the specific data for your neighborhood, because Youngsville is different than the Saint Streets, text market to the number below for a custom report. Now that you know the market is safe, you need to know what to buy. So watch the next video on 500K house hunt Lafayette versus New Orleans to see just how far your money goes here.